Welcome back to the gym, everyone. And you're probably here because you are wondering about this guy, otherwise known as the Alibaba Lat Pull-Down Extender. And you've probably got some questions like, what was the purchasing experience like? How long did it take to ship? How much did it cost? Is it any good? How long are the cables? And will it fit on my rack or tower properly? Well, good news. All of these questions and more are about to be answered. Let's take a look at how it's like to use and live with this attachment. Now, I just leave it up on my tower most of the time, and when it's time to use it, I'll hop up here and grab the cables, and usually I just store them with both ends clipped together. I'll unclip these, hook it up to my trolley, and I've got a dual cable, so if I want one-to-one, I gotta hook it up to both of them. And we're gonna go over here, grab our favorite attachment, hook it up to this end, and then we can use the trolley adjustment to set the desired height for this attachment. That should give me a full range of motion, and we're ready to go. When we're done, we can just do that in reverse. Drop it down, unclip, and stow away our attachment. Now, first question you may have is, how much range of motion does this thing actually have? And it sets it about 10 inches higher and 10 inches further out than the OEM kidney-style pulley system that's attached to my tower's trolley. Now, let's get some of the other basics out of the way. This fits onto 3x3 or 75 by 75 millimeter towers. And while there is a little bit of looseness to it when it's under load, you don't really feel it. Now, let's take a quick look at what it's like to take this attachment off and put it back onto the tower. So it attaches with one 1-inch pin right here. If I want to take it off, I take out this cotter pin with support, and off it goes. And if I want to put it back on, we just do that in reverse. Yeah, the pin they included is okay. It's not great, it's not a nice mag pin or anything, but it gets the job done. Now let's take a closer look at the construction of this attachment. Here we have some UHMW pads here and here, so it doesn't scratch up your tower or rack. And then it's actually made of two separate pieces of steel, as you can see here. So at the end of the day, it's only the bolts that support the pulleys and some of these stopper bolts that keep this whole thing together. And of course we have the two pulleys, and yeah, there you have it. Now let's talk a little bit about the cable lengths. So I actually found that the cable that came included with the attachment was a little bit too short for my tower. So I needed to make a slightly longer one. Now for reference, this is the 92-inch Get Rex tower, although the top few holes aren't usable. And I found that the cable that came with it was maybe about 4 to 5 inches shy. So in order to get the full range of motion, I actually made my own. Now you may have seen me do the trick with adjusting the height of the cable by setting the height of the trolley. And while that is a cool trick, the one disadvantage this attachment has is that it's not a contiguous cable. So if you do decide that you want your starting point to be a little bit lower, the problem is that shortens this run of the cable. And once the carabiners reach up here, that's all you get. So if you were to set it up here and pull, you'll find that the carabiner or the ball is going to hit the pulley pretty quickly. So that's why it's really important to get the length of the cable just right so that you can make sure you've got the full range of motion. So I can still do a little bit of adjustment here with my cable length, but probably only about 2 to 3 holes before I run into this range of motion issue. Now, I think the cable that's included is probably ideal for towers that are maybe in the 80 to 85 inch range. But if you have a 90+ inch tower, then you may want to consider making your own cable. It would have been nice if they included multiple cable lengths so that people could choose their own, but this is what it is. Now I'll give you some quick height reference points so that you can see whether this is going to work for your tower or whether you'll need to make a different cable than the one that comes with it. So in my setup, with this GetRx tower, I'm going to measure from the pinhole that is my highest setting to the floor, and right here it's 81 inches. And I'm going to measure from the center of the pulley for the lat pull down to the floor. Whoop. All right, let's try that again. Now I'm going to measure from the floor to the top pulley, and here we got about 90 inches to the center of that pulley. Now, one of the features I really wish it had was something to help with storing of both of the cables as well as the attachment. Most dedicated lat pull downs will have some kind of a hook up there to let you hang your attachment so it's not a dangling hazard. That's the one feature I really wish that this accessory had, and I might have to end up fabricating my own little hook there so that I can avoid having a dangling hazard here near my cable tower. Can you use it for belt squats? Yes, but it's not my favorite. Setting up belt squats with a selectorized cable tower always has the problem that you can't start properly at the top of the rep. So if that's not really a concern for you, then yes, technically you could use it like a belt squat. So here I have it attached basically as low as it goes. And I've got these 2 4-inch platforms here to provide some additional range of motion. So when I want to go and clip in, I come down here, clip in, got this handle to help me, and I start off the platform, I step up on my platform, and then I can go and do my movement and get okay range of motion. Personally, I prefer using my Mammoth pendulum style belt squat, again because it's much easier to start at the top, and I feel like I can get a deeper range of motion. Now on to the purchasing experience. So it wasn't that difficult, and if you find Alibaba intimidating, there's really nothing to be afraid of. Since this is technically a smaller item and not something that has to be freight shipped, it was really just a matter of signing up for my account. And they also gave me a $20 coupon for the first time purchase that could be used towards shipping. And then I just added it to my cart and checked out, and that was it. Now, how much did it cost? After all of the import fees, shipping fees, taxes, etc. to my door, it was about $97. That being said, with the recent escalations in the trade war with China, whether the same economics would still apply is anyone's guess. So your mileage may vary there. How long did shipping take? It took exactly 1 month from the time I placed the order, which you can see was on August 11th, and then it showed up at my door on September 11th. It shipped via ocean freight, and then after it arrived at a port, which was in California, it got transferred to FedEx, and FedEx delivered it to my house. Packaging was good, and there wasn't any damage or any. So what's my final verdict on this attachment? Was it worth the $97? To me, it was. It adds a certain level of convenience to my cable tower, where it's much easier to use it as a lat pull down. It adds quite a bit of range of motion, as well as giving me a more vertical pull. And it also allows me to use some attachments that I couldn't use before, like these prime knockoff handles, for example, where now I can actually use them and get almost a full range of motion. So if you want to add more Lat Pull-Down like functionality to your cable tower and don't want to break the bank, I think this is a good candidate, but again, I would be mindful of the trade situation going on with China at the moment. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel to get more of my content in the future. And if you want to see more content about this particular cable tower, check out this video here.